Thank you for watching WISD TV and welcome to the library at University High School. I have a very special guest today, a person you probably recognize. Her name is Virginia DuPuy, former mayor of the city of Waco and currently the executive director of the Greater Waco Community Education Alliance. It is a pleasure having you here today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We are here to promote the 6th annual Greater Waco Alliance's Summit that's coming up in November. Let's talk about that for a minute. What are the dates of this year's summit?
November 13th and 14th. We begin on Wednesday evening, have our opening banquet, and then all day on Thursday we have speakers, breakfast, lunch, and then 6 tracks of 3 sessions. So there's going to be a lot to learn, a lot to appreciate about what's going on in our community.
We're going to talk more about what this summit will bring to Waco, but let's take a look back now. This will be the 6th time that you have held a summit about education. Let's go back to the roots because it all started during your mayorship in the city of Waco. What made this summit come about? Well,
some people had come to me and wanted the mayor, that position, to look at education, work with educators, involve the community in some way in supporting education. And as a result of that, we ended up setting some goals and some strategies. And from that, we started thinking, well, now how are we going to actually pull this off? And from that, we thought, just a small group of us got together and I thought, let's do a summit. We think that's the way to go because that's a way to pull people together in the community, to listen to each other, to learn about education, what's going on in the community. And then in the first summit, we thought, let's just go ahead and identify 10 stakeholder groups who are partners with education, but bring them together and talk about plans. So that launched the whole thing.
And as the years have gone by, we focused on particular problems and ways to address those problems.
Yes, early childhood has been one of our themes. We feel like it's the community's responsibility to send children to school ready, frankly, at all ages, but particularly educators need the community to help them. They can't do all of the work by themselves. The educators are the professionals. We're not about telling the educators what to do. We're here to be the education community's partners. And but we've learned that early childhood is a huge piece of that. Of course, doing everything that we can to ensure students graduate prepared. There's lots of out-of-school time. They're in the community. A lot of things go on, and the community shares that responsibility in making sure that they graduate prepared and then go on to whatever form, either directly into career, but well prepared if they do, or into higher education. So that's what we've been about from the very beginning.
And I know that as the years have gone by, at each of those summits, you also tried to address current events. What's going on at that particular time in education, whether it's a funding crisis or some other problem that is being faced.
Yes.
So over the years, I mean, talk about some of those things over the years.
Well, we feel like it's been, first of all, as a principal, very important that whatever is presented at the summit is current. It is, there's no sense in us presenting old information. And each time we've addressed different issues, but this particular year, we've decided that our theme would be embracing our challenge. Now, we didn't say facing our challenge or running from our challenge. We said embracing our challenge. This is what this community is about. And we've identified this year 6 challenges and are going to present information in one of 6 tracks about these 6 challenges. One being financial stability of the families, that's important, prepared and engaged parents, and then of course healthy children, children from babyhood on up, that they are healthy and well, and then of course the adult champions, something is we call adult champions, which is the whole mentoring scene. We have wonderful, wonderful programs going on in this community, and then a track on partner business education. I mean, excuse me, let me say it another way,
Okay.
business educator partnerships,
Okay.
because this community, the business community, is very, very interested and invested in what happens in education. Just witnessed the Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy.
Yes.
That's huge in this community, and frankly huge in the state. It's probably nationally as well. It's a real incredible business educator partnerships, but there are others, and so there'll be a track about that. And then of course Persistent Succeed, what's happening in WISD to help students persist, MCC, and some of their partners, the Tarleton. So we're going to have good sessions, but in each one of these we're going to identify the challenges very clearly so people have a good picture of what's actually going on in our community. They can learn so much during that time, and then what will follow then in the afternoon are the best practices, the promising next practices that are going on. And I have, I think I know a lot about what's going on, but I learn when I get together with these, with the breakout leaders who are preparing all of this. So it'll be very, very informative. And then the last session will be devoted to feedback, Q&A, conversations, and action plans. I expect some important action to come out of this summit this year. We're being very intentional.
Now, there is no doubt that you're passionate about this alliance, you're passionate about education in general. Why is that? Why are you so passionate about education?
Well, for one thing, I care about this community, first of all. I care about the people in this community, and I care about our community being healthy and developing over the long term. And if we don't pay close attention to what's happening with our children, invest in our children, in the families, no matter what we build in this city, unless we have the people to make up that citizenry and to be responsible, healthy, enthusiastic, well-qualified citizens to take on the next generation, we've lost it all. We've got to do that one piece. That's critical. And we have, I'm not alone in that. Goodness, we have in the Alliance, we have the hospitals, we have the Family Health Center, higher education, of course, as well as, superintendents from our area districts. And of course, we're about all of the schools too. We care about public education, but we also care about private and the charter schools. Because they're all of our future citizens in this community. So, we have major partners, business partners, the bankers are with us, and the foundations. The foundations have played a huge role in helping move this initiative forward.
We wish you well, we wish you well, all the day long, we wish you well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You talked about something there about the Superintendents Alliance that's a part of this, and how great that is to see the area superintendents getting together with common goals.
It's just huge. When I first went to the superintendents and asked if they would do a shared vision, I learned more about how they'd been working with John Englehart, and incidentally, John Englehart in the Baylor School of Education, the dean there, is just a wonderful partner, not only to the Alliance, but of course to the superintendents. But the superintendents just, I asked if they do a shared vision, and I was really expecting some resistance, quite frankly. And I said, I'm not talking about a 50-page document, maybe 5 pages at the most. And they both, they all just jumped in and said, oh, we'll do it in 1 page. Well, it turned out to be a page and a half, yeah. But it is just an incredible document. They worked with John Englehart then, who did sort of the final crafting of the writing. And then they read it as a group from the podium there to the community, to saying, we're united. We'll compete with each other on Friday night football, but we are united in ensuring that our children are well educated in this community.
From time to time, you get a chance to walk around in our schools, including here at University High School. For one, you have 3 grandchildren that currently attend Waco ISD schools. Tell me what you think as you walk through the hallways at a building like this or at an elementary school, wherever it may be.
Well, for one thing, I think it's very important that we give children a good home. And clearly the University High is just a beautiful, beautiful home. My 3 grandchildren are not in the newest schools. They're at Mountain View, Lake Air, and Waco High. But they're nice schools. There's been investment to keep them up. But more than that, I think the overall climate of the students and how they are respectful of each other and of their teachers and are eager and interested in their learning. With one at Mountain View and one at Lake Air and one at Waco High, they all rave about their school. They wear their shirts, they're proud of them, and no one should say anything about their school in front of them. They are very proud, and they are so engaged in their learning. We're grateful, very grateful.
Great. And of course, from time to time, you get to see musical performances and things of that nature because, again, your grandchildren are involved in music. And one thing that you can say, I guess, about the Waco Independent School District with its diverse student body, it's so nice to see on stage people from different backgrounds, from all different places coming together and working together on a performance. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh yes, it is. I know twice now I've gone backstage after the performance and said to the students, I could have been in New York City at a Broadway stage play and could not have been more entertained than I was tonight. You were fantastic. They just do incredible work, really beautiful work.
Let's focus again on this year's Education Summit. And let's talk about the night of the 13th.
Yes.
And you're bringing in a special guest for the banquet.
Yes, yes. Well, before I talk about the guest, I want to say very briefly, there will be a student host at each one of the tables around the room from the different school districts, plus Rappaport and Vanguard and St. Paul's, and if I hear from some other school district that wants to be involved, we'll work them in. But they're also going to have their student art on the table as the centerpiece, and so it's going to be a wonderful student-centered evening in many ways. Midway ISD is going to have their string orchestra, and we're hoping to have some music outside. I haven't finished making arrangements for that, but we always must remember with our color guards and the singers who we're doing this for. And when they're there in the room with you, it makes all the difference. But particularly, you ask about the speaker. The city has entered into a contract that I'm really excited about, and when I learned about it and was frankly participant in selection of this particular group, it's Upjohn Institute on Employment Research. They work with cities to help develop a strategic plan centered around employment, and they work with the chambers. They'll be working with the educators. They'll be working with all of the major players who are working to ensure that the families have financial stability, and as we keep growing our economy. For one thing, we have low unemployment, high economic growth in times like these here in this city, and yet we do have a high poverty rate. There's something not quite right with that picture, and they're coming to help us figure it out. And they're going to be there that evening. George, Eric Check, and
we're in a school,
okay,
so that's
right.
about a class change time.
I didn't know whether I needed to stop. But anyway, George, Eric Check is going to roll out the plan that particular evening. The community will get to hear what's going on, and he's going to have 4 of his other team members there. We assume they're going to visit some of the breakout sessions going on that week. It's going to be a good time.
Very good. Well, as you heard, the bell has rung, and so we're having a class change here at University High School, and we're about to conclude this interview. Of course, the next day, the full day of activity on the Thursday then. Yes. Talk about where people can go to register for this summit.
Well, the simplest thing is to go online at educatewaco.com, all one word, educatewaco.com. You can register there. It's very simple. You can do it by credit card. It's an easy thing to do.
Easy thing to do. Thank you so much, Ms. DuPuy, for being here again today. And again, we encourage everybody to attend the 6th Annual Education Summit at the Waco Convention Center. For Ms. DuPuy, my name is Dale Caffey. We'll see you next time.